Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first ever Monday midday meeting with me, Charlie Lamdin. I'm the founder of Best Agent, and we are here. The idea of this 30-minute video, which is live at midday every Monday, you can watch it afterwards, but you won't be able to be involved in the live stream, is to be the most valuable 30 minutes research of your week. My aim and my ambition with this video is that there's more value to you as an agent from the information you're going to get in this 30-minute video from me and my guests than any other 30 minutes you can spend during the week. And I'm hoping that it helps, because my mission is to help movers, and helping movers, from my point of view, includes helping agents. This is going to be an experiment, and we're going to follow the following format. So first of all, and then the first section we're going to get into is I want to make sure that you guys are up to date with the most important stories in the economy and in politics affecting the housing market nationally, so that you've got at least the basics to go out into your week with when you're talking to your customers. Number two, I'm going to be sharing a tip of the week, not from me, but from a highly respected and very experienced estate agent or someone in the industry who's got the background and the knowledge to provide you with tips on how to handle the current market. Number three, we're going to be talking about Best Agent and its plans to change the industry for a fairer future and how you can be involved with that. And this is the area where you can challenge me and ask me questions. And please, by all means, ask questions in the live chat now on the live stream. But if you prefer to do it in a private environment, immediately after this call at 12:30, we're having a live video conference call that is unrecorded and strictly agents only. Today's guest on my 2-minute tip of the week is Simon Bradbury from Thomas Morris Estate Agents, a really widely admired and respected and very experienced estate agent. He's got a great tip for you today, although he's on holiday this week, so he's actually sent it in recorded while he's sunning himself on a beach somewhere. Thank you, Simon. And we've also got waiting in the wings Amy Dodd, who is an agent from Taunton, who's going to be sharing her story of the week about the biggest challenges she's facing in the process of getting her clients moved. My number one message to moving consumers is that all agents are not the same. It is the number one misunderstanding that movers have. They think, oh, all agents are the same. Therefore, it doesn't matter who I choose. And as all of you know, that's not true. It couldn't be further from the truth that all agents are the same. And as all of you watching this also know, there are some terrible agents out there. And as the last 25 years shows, it doesn't matter how well the good and the great agents improve their business. If you've still got bad agents in the industry, that's all the media talks about. That's all anyone cares about. And the bad agents drag everyone down. And my mission with Best Agent is the end of bad estate agency. Now, I've already been rambling for 3 minutes. I'm going to crack straight into this because I'm going to finish on time. And at 12:30 exactly, we're going to have the first live video conference. The URL to join that is at the bottom of the screen. The rules of joining the live video conference are you must be a customer-facing estate agent. You can be anyone in an agency business, any kind of employee, any level, doesn't matter. But as long as you are a customer-facing estate agent or an agency business owner. You must put in your name and your estate agency name. When you go to that page, it will ask you to put in your name. Please put in Charlie Lamdin from so-and-so estates so that everyone knows who you are. And the third rule is it is a video conference call. You must have your camera on. If your camera is switched off, you'll be removed from the room because I want every agent in there to feel comfortable knowing who's in the room. Probably not going to be very many of you today, maybe just a handful. That's great. Starting small suits me ideally, but the idea there is for you to challenge me, challenge my assumptions, challenge my messaging, and challenge me on what Best Agents' plans are for changing the industry. Because unless I'm mistaken, unless any of you can prove me wrong otherwise, Best Agent is the only project that is setting out to try to completely change the rules of how the resi industry property moving game is played. Okay, right. So let's get straight on into the first part of each Monday's midday meeting, which is what's happening in the national news on the economy and politics that affects housing. This morning, this following story came out. Let me just share my screen. I didn't have that ready. Apologies. And I think this is the biggest story affecting, and this story is on City AM news website today, right? So City AM, which is a city website, accelerating redundancies bring big concern for UK economy as firms sweat over the recession. Now, this is something that is going to affect movers' confidence. And I'm not saying that I agree with it or I disagree with it. What I'm saying is I think it's the most important. This is from a study that came out just this morning, okay, from KPMG. And it's showing unemployment is going up and confidence from employers is going down. And they're saying accelerating redundancies sparked by businesses sweating over whether the UK economy is on course for a recession are a big concern for the country. Now, my suggestion to you is that because all of your customers are people who are very concerned about their financial stability right now, that these are topics that they might want to talk to you about as a person who's advising them on their move. So whether it's a seller thinking of selling and then buying, whether it's a buyer thinking of buying for the first time, these are topics that you at least need to be aware of. You don't necessarily have to have a strong opinion on them. And I also recommend that you don't ever just dismiss your clients' concerns and tell them to ignore what's in the news. That just makes you look underinformed, and it also trivializes your movers' concerns. And so, as a professional, you shouldn't necessarily have a political opinion or an economic opinion, but you should be aware of the stories of the day and the concerns that they are raising. So just an acknowledgement that this story exists, I think, is an important thing for you to discuss with your movers. Brushing it to one side and going, no, everything's fine, it's all going to be fine, just makes you look stupid, frankly. And that's not what you want to do. And the feedback I get from my 50,000 subscribing followers across all my Moving Home with Charlie channels is that they don't meet many agents who they're able to have a sensible discussion with on these topics, okay? So I've linked to the story in the description below. Go and read the story, form your own opinion on it, but I would suggest that just be aware of it. You don't have to have an opinion on it, but be aware that this is a concern for movers. All right. So that's my number one on the economy. I mean, there are many, many more stories, and I want to do this every week. And hopefully, as the weeks go by, these stories will help you build a bigger understanding and picture of the economy and how it's working. Okay. But this story says that unemployment is rising. And so don't go out there and say, well, employment's really strong, because you just sound like you're out of touch. Okay. Now, the next story that I think is relevant to the moving market, which is in politics, is Labour and their claims of what they're going to do for the housing market. So this story just came out on Saturday, in the Daily Express. And it's actually an article written by Rachel Reeves, who is the Labour Shadow Chancellor. And I'm not going to go through the whole article now, but I think it's important to be aware that Labour is setting out its stall for the election, which is definitely going to affect the housing market, because elections always cause a slowdown on top of whatever else is happening. And it's a story I think that all agents should simply be aware of. Again, you don't need to have an opinion on it. In fact, I recommend that you avoid political opinions when talking to clients, but political awareness is important. So being aware of this, and my view on this particular story is that everything that Rachel Reeves and Labour are saying they're going to do sounds great, but when you dig into the story and look for any actual substance and specifically what they're going to do and specifically how they're going to do it, it's very light on the detail. There's almost none in there at all. So far, and by the way, I'm not pro or anti-Labour. I'm not pro or anti-Tory myself. I'm glad that housing is becoming one of the defining issues at the next election. I think it's really important. The Tories have currently got no policy changes planned on housing that they're announcing whatsoever. My question over this message from Labour is, everything you're talking is about house ownership. What about the renters? There's not much commentary about that on the renters. So that's my just the two headlines I think it's worth agents being aware of in the news this week. Unemployment is rising, confidence is falling from employers, and Labour is setting out its stall. Have a read of those articles. They're both linked to below. Okay. Do we have any? No, everyone's being very quiet and shy. That's okay. If you're agents watching this, I do hope you're going to join afterwards so we can have an open conversation about everything, any questions that you've got. Now, the next point I want to come on to, just for 2 minutes, is BestAgent itself. And just a very, very quick overview. I'm going to share with you here the public property market data that BestAgent is now starting to share with newspapers and with journalists. I had an interview with a Times journalist on this data exactly last week, which I'm hoping is going to get published. Hang on a second, let me just try and get it so it makes sense. And I want to just talk you through this. So the BestAgent All Homes Index is something that I want to come to be regarded as the nearest thing to be able to tell what's actually happening in the front line of estate agency in the market right now. And what we've got on this screen here is the total number of unsold homes on the market. This is just England data. There's also Wales data as well. England and Wales. We don't have Scotland and Northern Ireland yet. But you can see there are 647,000 unsold homes for sale with a median and average price. And then the sale agreed stuff. And what you can draw from these numbers is the ratio of unsold to sold homes. And to give you guys a clue, it's gone up from 3-1 a month or two ago to nearly 5-1 this month. Now, that's a massive jump in unsold stuff, okay? The other thing that I'm going to be saying to both you, the agents, and to the moving public is that the average and median price of unsold homes is irrelevant, because if they don't sell, they're not trading. They are not the price at which stuff is trading. It's just asking prices. And as you know, so many weak and poor agents overvalue, and it sits there and it skews the figures. If you want to know what's happening in the marketplace, well, then the asking price of sale agreed stock is much closer to what's happening. And look at the difference between the median unsold and the median sold price. There's a £60,000 difference. And on the average, which is why I think averages are really misleading and unhelpful, you've got the average asking price of unsold stuff is now £500,000. What? It's just so misleading, because obviously that's not the average home, is it? But it does suggest that there's more high value property coming in the market. But the average asking price of stuff that is selling is 362,000, and the median is 290,000. Both of those numbers are equally valid mathematically, but in terms of relevance to the mass market, the median price is a much closer figure. And I'd love you to bring me your questions on this, because to me, this is the most transparent housing index data on the market. Rightmove's data is asking price only of new unsold stuff and doesn't include price reductions, which BestAgent does, and it doesn't include under offer prices, which BestAgent does. Zoopla's index is a weird mix up of asking prices and land registry prices and weird calculations that Richard Donnell discussed with me, and the video is actually on this channel if you want to go check it out, which is cool. But the Zoopla index is a price movement index, not a price index. All right. The mortgage stuff is mortgaged properties only, so nationwide and Halifax, and it's quite a small sample, whereas this data is the whole of the market, and it's the only one that's the whole of the market, because even the land registry data, when it comes out, is currently only about 8,000 transactions out of the whole month. So it's about 10% of what normal volumes are. It's probably about 15% of what current volumes are, and it takes another whole year before the land registry index is actually complete and has the whole of market. So the BestAgent All Homes Index is the only whole market price index. Bring me your challenges, bring me your questions. I want to know what you think about it. And more importantly, what I want to discuss with you guys privately is exactly how we can use this data in the mission of helping movers understand that all agents are not the same. Okay. Right. Whew, time is flying. I want to get on straight away now to the next section. And so we've got the tip of the week from Simon Bradbury. I'm going to do that second because that's recorded, so Simon's not waiting. But I'm now going to bring Amy Dodd, who is Taunton's director of agency for YouMove, Taunton in the Southwest. And just before I bring her in, I want to explain how I encountered Amy. So some of you may or may not have seen the video that I put out on Moving Home with Charlie, of my colleague Samantha selling her 3-bedroom semi-detached home in Taunton at the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. And we videoed Sam talking to all local agents, 11 of whom came around to do valuations. And it highlighted the point as follows, which Amy is from YouMove, and YouMove is a brand that Sam would not have contacted if she was just picking agents to call to come around for evaluation. She wouldn't have contacted them. And it would have been a massive mistake, as you would see if you watch the video. And it highlights my point. This is perfect proof of the pudding, which is that when choosing an agent, it doesn't matter what company they work at or what the brand is. It matters how appropriate, how good. It matters about the individual, the person, you, the human being who will be helping your human being clients through one of the most difficult moves of their life and difficult decisions of their life. And it's all about the people, not the brands. So without further ado, I'm going to switch that off and invite Amy onto the screen. Amy, welcome. Thank you very much, and welcome and congratulations on being the first ever live guest on the Monday midday meeting. How are you?
Wow, thank you ever so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. So I have asked you on here, you're very brave.
I feel brave.
in front of other agents. I just got to put this back up so that everyone's got your name on the screen. There we go. To share with me and with the viewers of this video, especially other agents, what your biggest challenges are, your stories of your biggest challenges as a very good agent, and I know that you are a very good agent, in the current climate, which is an extremely difficult one. So I will shut up and let you just share your story.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I think there are a few challenges at the moment. Getting people to become sale agreed in a declining market and keeping sellers happy even when you give them the best service. And it's just tough times to keep telling people perhaps their price needs to come down. That side of it's hard. But for me, it's the getting the sales over the line is just so difficult. It's been this way for a long time. And I know there's lots of reports of the system needs to be better, something needs to be changed, and it does. And I would love your support on that. You offer that sort of try and get to the bottom of some solution here. And there needs to be one, because we do have transactions that go through nicely and comfortably within 4 to 6 weeks, and it demonstrates that is so achievable and easily done. And then yet you have others that are going into 3, 4, 5, 6 months and beyond, just painfully, because we get to a point where everything, I've got so many that I could refer on. You wanted me to pick one in particular, whereby, they should have been completed a month ago. Within 4 weeks, the majority of the work is there if you've got fairly decent active solicitors. And then you get to this point where you're being told that everything's in, then they're reviewing these inquiries, and suddenly there's more things to come out. Actually, we will go back and do that. And we're waiting for a mortgage offer, and that should be in any day now. And we're hearing this from links in the chain below. So that's my biggest gripe, I suppose, is that I feel I'm quite confident at asking my link, where I've got my own contact with financial advisors, solicitors. You can really pin them down and ask the specific questions, and you have to do that. And I understand that solicitors are probably under a pressure and have a lot going on. So you do need to ask them very specifically where things are at. Otherwise, they'll just sweep you along with yes, I've got that to review in a minute, and there's more inquiries to raise. But you've then got links below, sadly, or links above that you have no control over. And those questions just aren't being asked. And we get stuck in this sort of phase of not knowing where we are, and sellers saying, but I thought we were nearly there and we were ready. They've been told one thing, and everyone's getting very stressed. And we all, I said, the most recent experience I've had was going back nearly four weeks ago, that we should have, it all sounded as though we were nearly there, and we're just waiting on this mortgage offer to come through that's due any day. Turns out that wasn't the case at all, and that actually a mortgage advisor was waiting for another pay slip to come through, but that wasn't what was being communicated initially. So then the application, yes, another agent on the link below, and the relevant financial advisor at that point, perhaps not being as forthcoming as they could have been with everybody. And I think they do that in the best interests of what they think is the best interests of their particular clients. But it then causes so much aggro through the chain. And then we've got the top of the chain threatening to pull out because they don't understand what's going on. And they just feel as though they're being led up the garden path because there's just no real transparency. And there seems to be no ability for solicitors to really concisely look at what they've got and manage it well and understand what they need to do with it, which I'm sure is a pressure that they're under.
I mean, it's something I think is really important for everyone to understand that even the best agents have your own income, your own earnings are at risk due to other less professional agents who don't manage their sales progression so well.
Absolutely. And the sadness is it's the ones of us that really do care and are trying to get to the bottom of it that have to be the ones reporting the bad information. And you think, well, these agents that aren't doing their bit are completely getting away with it because they're not reporting anything or being the ones to explain what's gone wrong. So their voice isn't the one that's causing the upset. It's the person that's caring and trying that's getting the finger put at them for giving them the bad news, sadly.
So for you personally, are you saying that your number one, obviously I think all agents are agreeing that getting transactions over the line now is particularly difficult. Are you saying that is it other agents or is it conveyancers who are actually the worst culprits for this?
I think it's, other agents, I think, are the culprits for misleading information or not getting to the root of the situation. And it's unfortunately, I think, under pressure conveyancers that, as I say, don't seem to have the ability to really look at everything as a whole and say what's outstanding. There's just too much. I'm sure everyone will agree that we get told there's only one point ready, and then we all then work hard trying to get sellers to answer those points quickly, and then but actually now there's something else, and it's just sort of like and that's something that's typical of lenders. We all complain of that of lenders, that they are typical for saying they want one document, you give them one document, and there's another, and everyone's saying, why didn't you just ask me for the 5 documents in the first place?
And often it comes down to simply the competence of the individual, doesn't it? And how well trained or how well managed they are. Amy, thank you so much. We're running out of time. I've got to get Simon's on. I'm really, really grateful to you for joining. I hope we have you back again. I hope you'll be joining every Monday. And I hope you'll join again in the future if you'd like to. Thank you so much. All the best. I'm going to crack on now. And if anyone wants to contact Amy, I think you can find her on LinkedIn. If you're any sellers in the Taunton area who want the best agent in the Taunton area,
please do.
You should give Amy a shout and check out her video of selling Sam's property as well. Amy, thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Charlie. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Now, next up, we are going to go to Simon Bradbury. Now, Simon very, very kindly recorded this in a hurry before he went off on holiday last week. So the audio is not brilliant. Bear with me. I hope the audio is good enough and you can hear it. But afterwards, I'll just quickly recap on it. It's only 2 minutes long, but here we go. This is Simon Bradbury, who's the founder of Thomas Morris Estate Agents.
Hi, Simon Bradbury from Thomas Morris Estate Agents in Cambridgeshire, Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire. My tip for this week is simply an increased chance for you to get the most amount of instructions you can receive at the right price and at the best possible fee that you can achieve. A laudable objective, I'm sure you'll agree, but exactly how do you go about doing that? Well, I was trained, fortunately, by one of the top Australian real estate trainers, Josh Fegan, and he said, out-prepare your competition. And that's essentially what I'm advocating that you should do. In order to get the most amount of listings that you can do at the right price and the best value, you need to make yourself stand out from your competition when you go on a valuation appointment. Now, you may have heard the poem, I have 6 stout serving men, they've taught me all I knew, their names are what and where and when and how and why and who. The most important question of all is why. If when you go out to a property, as well as doing the standard bits about researching about the price, the area, the house types, etc., you really home in on why somebody's moving, the motivation for their move, that will give you a massive advantage over your competition, because it will give you an increased opportunity to help your prospective client achieve their objective. I'll give you a simple example. If, for example, you were going out to see somebody who was looking to move and you found out that the reason that they were moving was because they had a job move to, let's say, Lincolnshire, for example, if you've got that information, which even if the other agents have got, they probably won't do anything with, you can help and talk and use language in terms of solving the prospective vendor's problem. So, for example, you could make contact with a Lincolnshire estate agent or a number of Lincolnshire estate agents once you found out what sort of property these people are looking to do, and get them to contact them on behalf of your prospective client to really demonstrate to your prospective client that you're here to help. So that's my tip. Always ask why. Thank you very much.
So I hope you can hear that okay. In a nutshell, Simon was saying out-prepare your competition, and then focus more on the why they're moving than anything else. And actually that example he gave of, if you find out they're moving to another location, contact agents in that area and get them to contact your seller. That was one of the things that one of our first clients 2 years ago who sold through, they came to find their agent through BestAgent. They found an agent through BestAgent they wouldn't have called. That agent got them sold by doing exactly that. He was ringing up agents, and he actually found that they said, look, we'll sell if we can find another home. And he found them their other home, and then managed to string it all together and actually got 2 deals out of it. So thank you very much, Simon. Really appreciate that. I hope to have him back again. Hopefully we'll have him back live next time, and maybe you can take some questions for him. Now, if any of you got any questions right now, fire away. We're running out of time. We've got 2 minutes left. I want to just wrap up by saying, I know a lot of agents have got very strong feelings about the things that I say in public to my audience, and you find it very negative. Well, I think being prepared for a downturn is not a negative thing at all. I didn't talk the economy down. I can assure you I don't have that much influence. I didn't talk the market down either. No one can talk the market down. The market does what the market does based on movers' requirements, okay, and confidence in the economy and that kind of stuff. So I'm here for people who like to be well prepared. Now, I do want to be challenged, and if you're finding anything that I'm saying publicly is annoying or upsetting you, or you don't understand it, challenge me after this in the live video conference. Okay, so down below, I'm actually going to put the URL right up here for you. So it's bestagent.co.uk/agents-only. You go there now. Sam is waiting. Samantha is waiting. You need to put in your name, your agent name, and you must have your camera turned on. And you can challenge me there in private, in confidence. There will only be agents in the room, only me and Samantha and other estate agents, nobody else. It is unrecorded, and it's a safe place where you can challenge me, you can challenge BestAgent, you can challenge anything you want to know. How is BestAgent going to actually succeed in changing the industry where others have tried and failed? I want to have those questions from you. Anything you want to know about the revenues, the costs, the strategy, the leads, how the leads work, any of that. So please do come along and challenge me there right now. I do hope to see, even if it's just a handful of you there, that would be fantastic. So come along. Thank you very much for joining the first ever Monday midday meeting. I hope it was valuable for you. Looking forward to next Monday already. If you'd like to be a guest, if you've got a tip of the week you want to share with me, or you've got a story of the week to share how challenging things are for you right now that you think would be helpful to other agents, let me know, or contact Sam. You contact me anywhere on social media or in the comments under this video. Otherwise, have a great week, and I hope to see you right now in the private video conference, guys. I'll see you there. Have a great week. Bye-bye.